All right, so good evening, everyone. I welcome you so specially to tonight's episode of Through It All with Kola Olugbodi. I trust that we are all good. I trust that the week went well for every one of us. All right, just like that, the first month in the year 2024 is actually almost out. We have just like some 6 days to go. All right, so I know we are still greeting ourselves Happy New Year, but I need to let us know that yes, the year is already getting old. It's not looking new again. Another 6 days, January is gone. And if you're not careful, you close your eyes and open it, and then you will be hearing another jingle bell, jingle bell, jingle all the way, and it's December 2024. So whatever you have to do, this is the time for you to do it. The Bible says that in a race, many run, but one actually win the prize. And it canceled us run like someone that need to obtain. So what are you planning to obtain in the year 2024? What are the goals you have set for yourselves? I'm not saying what are those New Year resolutions. I'm talking about goals. And your goals, if it's not written down, they are not yet goals. And then when you write down your goals, if you have not attached the plans that will make you to attain those goals, then you are not ready to actually achieve any of those goals. And after you've drawn out your plans, the next thing is that take action. If you don't take action, your goals will remain on your jotter or anywhere you have put it, and December will come. Whether you are afraid or too timid, or you are not sure whether when you do it, people will say or people will not say. This is a year that let God be true and every other man be liars. Let God alone lead you this year. Don't let your fear of what people will say or not say hinder you. Please start running. January is almost over. All right, so let me welcome us once again to tonight's episode of Through It All. Through It All, of course, it's all about encouragement. It's all about hope. It's all about letting you know that whatsoever you think others have attained or achieved, it's common to man. You also can attain and achieve them. And like I've been telling people recently, everything in life is guided by laws and principles. Follow the laws, follow the principles, and you will discover that, there's no magic to you attaining success or greatness in life. Just follow the word of God, see the principles there, and you'll be so amazed what is going to happen in your life. So for those joining us for the very first time, the name of the program Through It All was picked from my book, Through It All, the memoir of my many trials and triumphs. Yes, I've been through it all. I've been through a lot of trials. I've been through a lot of troubles. I've been through a lot of challenges in life. I tell people, just mention what that problem is, and I can tell you, I've been there. But by God's grace, He has taken me through them. And so this book is more like, yes, it will encourage you, and it will be like almost like a manual that can help you even overcome any trouble. So if you've not read it, visit tia.com.ng, tia.com.ng. And if you're outside the country, just visit Amazon and search for Through It All by Kola Olugbodi. You can always download it there. And then, of course, you can always download the soft copy immediately if you go to tia.com.ng. All right. So tonight, like it has really been announced, and we've shared over and over again. We're going to be talking on successful financial and investment strategies that will take you far in this year 2024. This is the year that many are saying they are casting down. These are the years that people are saying, the money is not there. So nobody is talking about savings and investment. Many are even saying this is not the time for you to even buy properties. An expert will be talking to us tonight. He's been a friend for decades. Is somebody tested and trusted, and this is what he do all his life. So with every joy in my heart, I will just bring him to the screen right away. His name is Samson Adekunle. He's the COO of Prosperis Holdings, because they are more into investment and financial issues. All right, so bro Samson, so nice to have you here tonight. How are you, my brother?
Good evening, sir. Good
Good
evening,
evening.
everyone.
Thank you for making it possible to be on Through It All today, bro Samson.
Thank you, sir.
All right. I know this is your first leg on Through It All. You're still going to come back later in the year. He was supposed to be on Through It All in December to share his story, but this time around, like I told us, the way Through It All is going this year, it's going to be more like, yes, we're going to keep encouraging ourselves with other people's stories, but then we're going to also be talking about principles. You've heard me say principles. So it's not just about the stories. Let's start talking about principles that make some of the things, some of the stories I share, the things that make them to work. All right. So last week, I started by talking on business principles that you need to adopt for 2024 that will take you from any level you are to something much greater. And this week, we're going to be talking on successful financial and investment strategies that will take you far in 2024. Of course, next week, I'm going to continue on the business principles. All right, so bro Samson, thank you for being here tonight. So you can go ahead with with the presentations. Please take notes, everyone. He's going to talk for like some 45 minutes. And then after, we're going to take your questions. God bless you all.
All right. Good evening, everyone. Can you all hear me, please? Just say amen if you can see the screen and you can hear me loud and clear.
I'll send your chat if you can hear him, but I can hear you loud and clear.
All right, great. First, thank you to God for the privilege and the opportunity to be here. When I do this or get invited, I always see it as a privilege, by God, because I know that there are several people that are better, that they know better, they have better results. So if one is invited, it's a privilege. And I want to say thank you, Daddy, for inviting me on this platform. I do not take it for granted. It's a privilege, and I'm very grateful to God. So tonight, just 5 slides, and after that, we will be going into discussion. I had to limit the number of slides because one of the questions that I've asked to ask myself of late is, so I do this almost every now and then. I go to different places, talk to different people, and I keep asking myself, how much of results, how much of value do people really get at the end of the day? It's almost, common for most people that they attend all of these, they have all of this knowledge, and they don't get to utilize the knowledge for their good. So I want to plead with us, let's not just be hearer, going from one podcast, seminar, webinar to another, and in terms of actual results, we are not saying it. So, and that's why I want to limit what I'll be saying tonight to specifics that we can actually use. I'll be talking about strategies that I have used, I still use, and I would encourage you to use in 2024. And I am very certain by the grace of God that it would, end a better year for us in Jesus' name. Amen. Okay, so by way of introduction, you are expected to invest, your funds, your excess available resource. But you are not expected to start investing in anything without first determining your investment goals and strategies. So it's possible that before now you've been investing without having clear understanding as to what your own strategies are. Please, this is the time to pause and take a moment to get it right. So what you see is a lot of people tend to invest. They are just doing it because others are doing it. They invest because people say invest. If you don't have a goal, if you don't know why you're investing, it is high time to first of all, leave the money, leave whatever you've invested before that. Don't invest any further, one kobo, until you figure out your own investment goals and your strategies. A long time ago, there were decisions that I had to undertake as to what I will invest in. One of the things I said to myself, I will never ever invest in anything that I do not have 100% knowledge about. I have to understand it closely, whether I will run it or I will not run it. If I want to invest in your business, I should have an idea of how you make money, who your potential clients are, your marketing strategy, the people involved in the business, and the future of the business. Very few times that I moved out of my own strategies, that I moved out of my own plans, I've had to chop cane. And, I had to retrace my steps quickly. And ever since, I only stay in the area that I know. If for whatever reasons, I have to go outside of that place, the onus is on me to learn and continue to learn until I am comfortable in that space. Your investment strategy should be a set of principles that guide your investment decisions. When faced with decision on whether to invest in asset A or asset B, your investment goal is that thing that would help you to decide, because your goal will tell you go with A, but your strategy will tell you how to win. So this year, you will make several investment decisions by God's grace. Hence, you need to predefine today or now or about now what will guide your decision making every time. So, and that would include how much of risk you're willing to take, what type of investment you're looking at. Is it short term, medium term, or long term? Do you even have sufficient capital to invest? How do you get capital to invest? The truth is, everyone has different needs. So you should determine your own needs. What exactly are you saving for? Or what are you investing to achieve? Until you define this clearly, do not invest a kobo further, or just keep saving, but don't invest. The most important thing in determining your investment strategy for 2024 is knowing your financial state as of today and clearly define what financial freedom means to you. One of the things I had to define early enough is, what is my own definition of financial freedom? So my own definition of financial freedom is that when I get to a point where the interest on my investments and the interest on that interest is sufficient to take care of my activities, my expenses every month without having to go to work. And when I mean expenses, I'm not talking about myself. because God has also given me my own purpose and the things that I'm passionate about. So in funding those projects that God will have me support, ministries that God will have me support, people that God will have me support, plus myself, whatever I will use to support them. My definition of financial freedom is that that amount must be interest on my investment. So I had to calculate backwards to understand how much that I need to be able to achieve that. Yours might not be as bogus as mine because God has placed in our hands different assignments. If your own assignment does not require so much funding, whatever it is that your assignment is, I'm sure that if I ask Daddy now, we through it all, writing books, supporting different people, putting different people in schools, it's also going to be a whole lot. But whatever yours is, define what financial freedom means to you today. So it's like moving from point A to point B, where point A is your current state, where you are today, and your point B is where you intend to go to. So between where you are today and point B, your financial freedom, the bridge that links point A to point B is the financial strategy. That is what the strategy you will employ. That is the how of how to go about it. For those of us who attend strategy meetings, we say that it's not strategy until you have discussed how. So we start with, what do you want to do? When do you want to do it? Where will you do it? But the critical component of every strategy is the how. And that how must be clear. And Daddy was talking earlier about don't just write the goals. It's not a goal. It's not a goal really until you have a plan. And it's not a plan until it is documented. And it's exactly what it is for financial strategy. So when the bridge is missing, what you have is motion without movement. To prevent that, you must conduct quickly what is known as financial health check to ascertain your current state. So, the second is financial health check. Carrying out a financial health check is important and will put you in firm control of your finances. Once you have an idea of where you are, it's like going to the hospital and they already mentioned, oh, you're fine, everything is fine with you. However, don't stay close to where you have dust because you might just be prone to asthma. Once you know that, you are able to manage your health better because you can go anywhere. Once you sense that a place is dusty, you just stay away. And for as long as you maintain that, you will just be certain that you're almost going to be fine. So that's exactly what this is supposed to do. Your financial strategies or plan that is that helps you, your financial strategy or plans, when you build it on nothing or on a shaky foundation, it will not stand. So when you have these checks, just like they ask you, is there anybody in your family that have got high blood pressure? They ask you different questions when you go for health checks. It's the same thing here. You have to ask yourself, what is my current financial situation today? What is the cost of my cost of living, including expenses and debts? How much can you afford to invest, both initially and on an ongoing basis? You have to ask yourself, are you in debt? Do you overspend? Why have you not been able to save? If you're not saving enough, you should ask yourself, why am I not investing? Is it out of fear? Is it because I don't understand it? Is it because I don't have money? These questions, if honestly answered, will show you gaps that you urgently need to fill. You can't continue not having structures around your finances. Enough is enough. Until you have that enough is enough moment, your financial life is not going to change drastically. When you do this financial health check and you get to a point and something roars in you that says, no, enough is enough, these people doing this, they don't have two heads. That is the point of inflection. And that's when things will begin to change. You will need to be super clear on your financial goals, how you will get to where you want to go to, and how to get to that point is extremely important. The most important thing when you're having this session is that you must be very truthful to yourself. Self-discovery is the cornerstone of personal growth and personal financial management. When you discover yourself, when you are truthful to yourself and you make amends, then you begin to see that your financial story will start changing. Second to the last slide. So this is talking about personal financial management. Now, in terms of personal financial management, it's talking about ways or methods of managing your personal finances. Some of us, we just manage it. We have not thought it through. We have not really put in place this method or ways. It's important that you set the goal. Sit and ask yourself, what method, what ways am I managing my personal finances? The goal of financial management should be to attain financial freedom. So, like I said, what does financial freedom mean to you? Define yours and ask yourself how to attain it. Budgeting, saving, and investing. These are very, very critical and crucial skills that would help you manage your personal finance. Now, we are talking about how to manage our personal finance, and very soon we'll go into the strategies. They are not the same thing, you know. So in terms of budgeting, but these are skills that you need. You need to set the foundation, and the foundation must be solid before you start applying the principles and the strategies. When you budget, what you're doing is that you are creating a plan on how you want to spend your money. Don't start spending until you have a plan as to how you want to spend your money. Budgeting is a crucial skill for financial freedom. You can never, ever be free until you understand the act of budgeting. Your budgeting is worthless if you don't make money. If you make nothing, then there is no budget. And that's why if you don't have a job or you don't have something giving you money, you cannot rely on people, you know, to give you money, you know, to get to financial freedom. You have to find something doing, and in getting something going for you, then you will have something that works. People kill themselves financially by buying more than they need. That's one of the things you get to see when you don't have a budget. You will just be spending and spending. But when you have that budget, you will just discover that you are actually spending on the wants and not need. You know, your budget is meant to help you focus. It's like the compass. It's like that map, you know, that helps you to focus on the things that are important to you. You don't have to do anything else. Just get what you need and not what you want. That will give you immediate control over your finances. So once you focus on the things that you need only and not what you want, then it would, you know, start focusing you. I remember I was talking to some of my colleagues when I was still working in GTB, and I said to them that in budgeting, when you look at your budget, there are things that are basic. All of us will spend the same thing. The difference between A and B would be the things that are not common to all. All of us will join the same transport to work, whether you earn 500 and the other person earn 100,000. If you come from the same place, you will most likely spend the same thing, all things being equal, on transportation. So you might not have an edge over the person that earns 500. But see, things like DSTV, phone subscription, you know, the type of phones you use that are wants. you must ask yourself, what really do I need? And then I told the people in the office, I said, see, we spend so much money on DSTV subscription. Most of us were paying we subscribed to the highest bouquet. Then it was 12,600. I said, how about pooling? And people do it because, especially guys, for football and all of that. I said, how about this person during the season? You pay for this month. All of us will converge in your house and watch football. Then the next month we'll move to the other person. By so doing, at least the month that you're not, is not your turn, you will be saving that 12,600. By the time I did that analysis for them, it was almost about 1 million different monies here and there that people could put together in 1 year. So it gives you control. Remember, you cannot control the economy. There are things that are outside of our control, but you can control your own decisions. Once you have a grasp around and over your decisions, then your life will begin to turn around. And what I recommend is zero-sum budgeting, which is when your total income, it's when you minus your expenses, what you have left is zero. And one of the ways to achieve that is that savings must be number one on your list. Once you remove your tithe, the next that comes is savings. You will treat savings as an expense. What people do is that they have their budgets, they earn 100,000, they pay tithe of 10,000, the remaining 90,000, they pay this, they buy this, they buy this. 1 month, 5,000 will be left, they save it. Another month, nothing will be left, they move on. Another month is 1,000, they go on. But what I'm recommending is that you agree upfront based on your goal towards financial freedom to say that I am going to be saving 20%, which is 20,000. So after your tithe, what you have is 20,000 that goes straight into savings, and whatever is left, 70,000, you have to find a way to manage it. You must get to a point where your first line, your first expense line is savings. And to get along quickly and attain financial freedom faster, you should save more than 20% of your income. If you're able to save 20%, aim for 22%, 25%, 27%, and keep pushing it, cutting back non-essential or unnecessary expenses, and increase your income as quickly as possible. You need to set your savings goal and automate your finances this year. If your savings is not on autopilot, chances are people will plan it for you. You have to find a way to automate your income, and so that savings is already the first or second charge. Now, to talk about investing quickly, whether you're 20 or 30 or 40 or 50, all of us, we always wish that we had started sooner. But the truth is, the past is the past. You can't change it. But what you can do is to start now and invest like your life depends on it. It actually does. If not, you will just be lying to yourself. There is nothing as good as living your God's purpose and not having to worry about money. Some of us, we desire to be on the mission field. You find fulfillment going to schools, talking to students in schools. You find fulfillment going to hospitals, paying people hospital bills, supporting some of these things. But you can't do it, because if you do that, you will not have money to transport yourself from one point to the other. So, but the more we invest and quickly get to financial freedom, the more time we have to live in fulfillment. And it's extremely important. A solid financial plan is not just budgeting and investing. It's about strategizing your entire financial life. What investment strategy you are using is extremely important. And what are you using this year? And quickly, we will be looking at 2024 investment strategies. One of my favorites is the one I will talk about the last, which is follow the person wey sabi road. You don't have to reinvent the wheel. Just look for someone that knows the way. Just follow, copy and paste. Once they've had results over and over, just follow the way. And investment strategy goes beyond, searching for the one thing that will yield the highest profits. It must be one that takes you to your financial freedom. There are several there are several of these strategies, but I will just quickly touch base so that we can ask questions, because we have just like 10 more minutes. Touch base with just 4 or 5 of this. Number one, and is extremely, extremely, extremely important, is education. You are never going to be financially free unless you have financial education. Education is everything. You will get knowledge to gain financial freedom when you apply your art to financial education. Investment in education could lead to different results, because with the right education, you will learn how to invest and build wealth. You must read about investment. If you're supposed to invest in something, the first point is, reading about it, getting understanding, knowing it. Ask questions, attend webinar, podcast, seminar, just like we have now. If you truly and truly desire financial freedom in 2024, then you will never stop learning until you attain it. This 2024, one of your strategies must be that you know exactly where you're investing in. One of the questions that I get asked every now and then is that, oh, can we give you money and you invest for us? Oh, okay, just let me give you money. You just do the investment. As much as it's not bad that you give professionals money or ask them to help you manage your portfolio, to attain financial freedom, is extremely important that you gain understanding. I've shared this before, and I will keep saying it. I started investing in shares way back, before I gained admission into the university. And when I was in the university, I got to a point, I attended Evangelical Christian Union. In my final year, I did seminar for people about the value and the worth of shares, during our FYB sessions. I was always talking about it. Then it dawned on me that, to the extent that you only know it. I read microbiology. For you to be an authority in something, you must know it. If this is something that you're passionate about, why not take an exam to be a professional? So I did CIS. I got qualified. What does it take to trade on the Nigerian Stock Exchange? They said I must be an authorized dealing clerk. I had to go to the Nigerian Stock Exchange on the floor to learn, and I did what they call oleship, like internship. I was there, I was attached to people who do lectures, do exams. Then after that, we did an interview with the Director General of Securities and Exchange Commission, the DG of Nigerian Stock Exchange. They brought all the different people, and we did to get qualified. After that, I said, let me do the one for the UK, Chartered Institute of Investment and Securities UK, just to keep learning and learning about this. Some of us, we are passionate about something, agro business, and we are doing it. Let us learn it and become an authority in it, so that you just don't know it because you invest in it. You know it because you have done everything and you practically know almost everything about it. Number 2 strategies that I have used, and I also want to recommend this year, is that one that says buy and hold. And I will give an example. MTN Nigeria shares were listed in 2019, and they were listed at 90 naira per share. This afternoon, when the stock exchange closed, MTN closed at 293 naira 90 kobo. That means that between when it was listed, less than 3.5 years to today, it's gained 226.5%. So you've had 226.5% growth in less than 4 years. Now, and I'm not talking about dividend. They paid dividend over and over. When you add dividend to these 226, it will probably be around 250 something percent that is gained in less than 4 years. Even if we divide this amount by 4, assuming it's even 4 years later in the year, that is over 60% on the average. In fact, when you use, this is 57%, when you use the actual, it will be about 67% on the average yearly. And so imagine if you did not hold this thing for a very long time. The market will always do the yo-yo, up and down. Your ability to hold on investment. I have United Capital shares that I bought at 1 naira 50 kobo. Today, they are trading at almost 15, 17. In fact, at some point, it got to like 20 naira. That is like times 1,200%. I held on to it. I had First Bank shares that I bought at 2 point something at 3 naira till today. First Bank is already about 25 naira. That is over 1,000 and something percent. The longer you hold on and you stay in the market, the better for you. This is one proven strategy in stock trading and in most investments, because I'd also done the analysis to know that when you do multiply a penny every day, by day 15, it will be maybe about 1,000 something. But by day 30, it will be almost in millions. That is the power of compounding interest. Power of growing over and over. The longer it stays, is like wine, the better it becomes. Stock prices will continue to rise and fall. It will go up, it would also come down. But on the long run, studies have shown that investing in equities, in shares, tends to outperform inflation. People say, oh, there has been inflation, there has been devaluation, but I've checked it. Devaluation, inflation over time, and the performance of some of the, especially the value stocks on the Nigerian Stock Exchange and world over, they have outperformed this over time. Invest funds that can be kept for a long time. Don't invest your house rent. What people do, and that's the problem, they call me and they say, oh, I've got this money, I want to pay for house rent in October. Tell me what I can invest in that will do 100%. It is a recipe for disaster. Don't invest your children's school fees. They are resuming for another session in September. You already have the school fees today. You quickly want to invest so that you earn 30, 40% because you hear that people are making 50, 60%. Those are not the kinds of monies that you move to the stock market. This year, don't invest the funds that somebody says, help me quickly keep this money, then I will collect it in another 2 months, 3 months. And you ask this, because these are questions that we get to ask every day. Can I get it in 6 months? Can I get 100% in 1 year? This is not kalu. It is not gamble. What we do is not gambling. What we do is investing. We are not gambling. We are investing. We look at the company. We look at the management. We look at the balance sheet. We look at cash flow. We look at all of these things. Take decision to say that where this is based on the inherent value in these stocks, it will get there. I remember one time last year I did an analysis, and I said, and I shared with my friends, and I said that I know for a fact, and I'm saying it now so that it's on authority, one of the winners of tomorrow is Access Bank. When you look at the ways they are, going into different takeovers, they are taking over, they are expanding the business, going in, acquiring companies, different series of acquisitions that they were doing. I said then that it's just a matter of time. It will overtake almost all the stocks. So when Access was about 8 naira, I was saying that just keep buying. And I said to myself, this is the stock of the future. Just keep accumulating. Don't ever sell. Just keep accumulating. For as long as they have very serious management and board, and they keep acquiring and expanding their base, it's just a matter of time. They will win the race. It's a marathon, and they understand it clearly. And just today, he closed at almost 29 naira from 8 naira. But it's a matter of time. It will, outperform the market. Just in less than 5 minutes, we'll round up. So what I'm trying to say is, invest for the long time. You are investing when you buy an old asset for a long time, but you are trading when you keep flipping it, hoping to make money on the spread. It is not bad. Some of us, we are trained to be traders. We are authorized dealing clerk. We are traders by training. We can do it intraday. Sometimes market will crash and it's about 10% loss. You enter. Before you know, you gain 2%. You've done 12% in one day. Some days you lose, some days you gain. But if you are not a trader, leave trading for traders. Focus on investing. Be careful speculating about future returns. Instead, focus on investing in stocks with good fundamentals that can consistently deliver value over a long period. When investing in equities, you must be clear as to why. Some of us invest, we buy shares, we buy bonds, we buy some of these things, but we do not understand why we are buying them. We must understand why we buy this. Are we buying it for capital appreciation, for cash flows, for whatever it is? You must ensure that you invest for a particular reason. One mistake that you must try to avoid is trying to time the market. You are not a prophet, and even if you are a prophet, it's not every day that you will get to know how the market will move. Stop trying to beat the market because most will fail. And don't be emotional about it. Don't have entertain fear or greed. Have it. When I invested in First Bank, it's gone. When I invested then around 3 naira, it moved to 5 naira. It went back to about 3 point something, went to 8 naira, down to 6 naira, to 11 naira. I never for once panic because it was value investing. Where is value? And you stay there, over and over time. Number 3 is rollover. It's also a strategy that I will recommend to you. When you do investment, especially fixed investment, fixed deposit with the banks, try as much as possible to go with the option of rollover as opposed to putting it there. I did a quick math. If you invest 10 million naira today at 15% yearly for 5 years, in 5 years, what you will have is 17.5 million. But when you ask them to roll over every month, what happens is that this month, they will drop it with your principal and interest. Then they will roll over your principal and interest. So your interest next month will earn interest. Third interest by month 18 is interest, earning interest on interest, on interest, on interest, and over and over. Then I did that and discovered that by year 5, it will be 21.07 million. So that's difference of almost over 3.5%, 3.5 million naira. When you continue this thing to 20 years to 30 years, you will be amazed as to what you get if your strategy is rollover of investment versus straight line. So you must also understand and do the math before you agree as to what works for you. So it's one of the things we have to look at this year. Also ensure that on no condition should you have money that sits in your account that will not earn interest? Most of these banks, they think they are wise. So let me tell you what they do. They have structured or programmed their system that says that if you withdraw more than 3 times, you will forfeit your interest. I discovered that for my banker. So what I did was, okay, this thing, if a child will learn how to die, they will also learn how to, I don't know, the adage, So what I did was I opened a sub account where I keep the monies that I'm not spending today. So every night, all the excess money, I move it there. And you can automate it. It just goes there. You will sweep it into this one. Whether it's your corporate account or not, you can do the same. So that every night, that money will earn interest. So what they will penalize me is my normal savings account that I run and I withdraw from and make payment from. So you will penalize me. But there is just a token that goes there. The balance sits in an account that I will get interest. And I just discovered that ever since I started doing that, on a monthly basis, I earn something, no matter how small, even if it's 20,000, even if it's 25,000, it can sort something, that either if I'm very careless about it, some people say it's just 20,000, it's just 25,000. But guess what? It can sort something, even if it is internet subscription or DSTV subscription or something, it would definitely sort something. Another one there is diversification. We must diversify our portfolio. You must have mutual funds, shares, USD. As you have Naira, you must also have USD or other FX investment. It can be just the token, $50, $1, $10. Just keep buying, especially as you grow old. The children of this day, most of them want to study abroad or have their masters abroad. And even if the children are not looking at studying, we expect by God's grace that we will go on vacation with our family. And when we retire, we will be, take some time, rest, and, travel here and there. At that point, you will not be spending Naira. You'll be spending FX. So when you start saving little, $50, $20, $20 over time, you will just discover that you already have something. And when it grows to a certain amount or threshold, you can then invest in Euro bonds and also earn coupon in dollars. That would also serve as something. And if you now live in a place like Nigeria, where dollar moved from 300 and something to 1,400, imagine you saving when you were buying at 3,300, and when you want to convert to Naira, sell some, it's 1,400, it's 1,500. We pray that it will come down, but that's the reality of the day. The other one is you must also stay liquid. Cash is king. This year, you must keep a fraction liquid. I don't mean keep it in an account not earning anything. It could be in fixed deposit, because opportunities will come your way this year. It's proven when the economy is tough, it's very tough. People get opportunities that you hardly get. People will just come, I want to sell my house for a token, things that ordinarily they should sell for 10 million, because they need money and they are not managing their own finances very well. Then they resort to selling their assets. Oh, I want to sell this business. I want to sell this. When you have money, Andy, you will be able to take advantage of those opportunities. When the economy will flip, and that's the reality of life, it will never ever continue this way. It's proven everywhere. It will be good, sometimes it will be bad, is the reality of the time that we live in. So one day the economy will turn and it will be a boom period. At that point in time, people will now start begging you the assets that people flip, very cheaply, and you key into it. Some other people will come and they will buy it. The other one is multiple streams of income. Time will not permit us, but we must diversify our income base. If you have one, look for another. If you have two, look for another. And the last one is the one that I said, follow person wey sabi road. And don't wish for more money. Just find one person that knows how to handle money and build wealth. when you emulate what they do, you will get the same result. Don't overcomplicate anything. If you have access to Dangote today and it will allow you, and you are just copying what he's doing based on the fraction that you have, if he's investing in A and he's investing $10 million, you invest 10 million naira or invest 10,000 naira, invest 100,000, you will get the same result in the same percentage that you are investing. Just look for that one person or the two people in your cycle that you understand. Mirror, stop listening to the wrong people. They taught us about, different things. They will tell you it's not going to work, it's tough and this. Stop listening to them. Opportunities abound, and you must learn to talk to people, network with people that are already talking about networking, business, managing risk, asset allocation, and be closer to them. Move closer, and you will tap into it. In summary, there is no one cap fits all when it comes to strategies. I just mentioned 4, 5. There are several strategies that you can apply. As you can see, your investment types will determine what strategy that apply. There are several types of investment strategies that cater to almost every level of risk, involvement, and timing. Finding the best strategy for you will come down to understanding your personal preferences and financial situation. Some people, they are at the point where they can take risk. Some people are already getting old. They can't take risk. You can't compare yourself. The best thing I can recommend is for you to do your research. What works great for a friend may not work for you. There is a lot at play when it comes to investing. But, all of us would have to find a strategy that will help our, situation and help us to achieve our goal and ultimately take us to financial freedom, which is my desire for you and the desire of God for you, that it wishes above all things that we be in health and our soul prospers. Thank you very much. God bless you.
Wow. Thank you so much, Bro Samson. Wow, that was awesome. Thank you so much. I think it was before you started talking in depth about shares. Yes, please let me thank him for sharing a lot of revelations about investment with us. Now, somebody was asking the question. Please, if you have any question, yes, thank you. Somebody said, God bless you, sir. Favor says, very insightful and helpful. Very true. Mide Olubi says, thank you so much, sir. Thank you, sir. Orelua says, thank you for this insightful teaching. What platform or site can you recommend us to learn more about stock? Maybe that's the first question. Please just put your question once you have the question. Yes, thank you a bunch. So do you have any websites or books, other resources where people can learn about stock and actually about investment generally?
Okay, for me, so one, I used, I go on all sorts. I use Yahoo. I go to Yahoo Finance so the way my typical day goes, I just basically just learn, maybe because I'm in finance, but for someone who is not in finance, you can follow Nairametrics, ProShare. You can follow if it's international, even on Twitter. Just look for people, that are experts in a particular topic, and, start following them. They will be posting all sorts. If it's real estate, there are people that I follow for real estate tips. There are people that I follow for, starting and growing businesses. There are people that I follow on finance. So I have all sorts of sites that I visit. I pick a topic, I go on YouTube, I go on Google just to read more about it. Also look for books, to read about it. So I just basically, learn about different topics, different times. I'm always, picking knowledge from here and there. And I just discover that, ultimately you just grow to become what you read and the people that you follow.
So that's very true. Even for most of us, the things you are interested in, there's a way you find a way of getting information about them. And that's exactly what he's saying now. Yahoo Finance is not talking about Yahoo Yahoo. There's actually a site that is yahoo.com. They have a Yahoo Finance and then Naira Matrix and then ProShare. ProShare does a lot of financial and investment analysis also, so you can follow their website. All right, so if you have questions, you can raise your hand if you want to say it in the open. Somebody was asking, was asking even before you start, I said, how can I buy shares? How can I invest in stock exchange? I know you mentioned that when you were talking, but do you want to just quickly mention it again?
Okay, I think we've addressed that. First is learn about it. If you want to invest in shares, it means you have to know it. What are shares? What does it mean to own share? Right? People look at it. It's not different from, investing in a business.
Yeah.
But the way we look at it, we think it's just something abstract. When you buy into Access, I'm a part owner of Access, GTB, First Bank, Fidelity, FCMB. We all own it. It might just be a fraction that I have, but that's the reality. You are one of the owners. They do AGM, you attend, you can vote. And at some point, if you continue, you can become a board. You can sit on the board of some of the companies. You can come on the audit committee of the company because it's our company. You understand? It's so when we look at it that way, you have to, do your research. It's like investing in your friend that says, I want to go into poultry, come and invest. It's the same way. The same way you do your due diligence is the same way. If you want to buy shares, go to a stockbroker. There are a list of stockbrokers that you can go to them and ask them, I want to buy shares. They will open what is known as CSCS for you. Good news is that, unlike before, when we buy shares, then you have certificates, and now you're looking for your certificate. This time around, it's all automated. Whether you are in the UK or America, I have shares, US shares that I trade from Nigeria. So, and people in US as well. Some of my friends, they also trade on the Nigerian Stock Exchange. So it's immaterial where you are. It's now online. So if you have shares in the past 20 years, 10 years, that you don't know where those shares are, I can give you an email. Just send a mail to them. They will do global search. They will look for all your shares, all dividend that they have paid in the last 20 years. They will pay you everything back. The money is somewhere. It could just be that some people are using your money.
I think you should give us that email. There are a lot of us, including myself. It was this evening that it just occurred to me that all my First Bank and every shares, the dividends were not coming in. I knew I was supposed to create where everything will be going best. Can you tell us that email so that everybody can
I
begin
will
to
drop
monitor
it in
their
the group
shares?
chat. I will drop it in the group chat. When you send an email to the person, please do copy me so that I can ensure that they get back to you, in a timely manner. Whatever your share stock issues, in the past, whether you are looking for money, you'll be amazed that you have in hundreds of thousands in dividend. Some people are there and they are happy sitting on it. You are not, and they won't pay you interest the day they want to pay. So collect it now. And some of those money, it was when dollar was 120 that they've been sitting on it. Now it's 1,400. Imagine they should actually pay you like times 10 of that amount. So please, let's go for our money. Let's send an email to that email. Copy me. So I'm dropping
All
my
right, somebody is asking, would you advocate investment in real estate at this time, especially buying landed properties with hope of selling later at a great way to invest now? Is it a great way to invest now? That's like the question somebody is asking.
Well, I think that those who know, they know. One of the things that I've come to realize is that this Lagos state, the land in Lagos will never expand. Nigeria, size of Nigeria will never ever expand beyond it is. If it's expanding, you are in Cotonou or Cameroon. You are no longer in Nigeria. For as long as any asset is finite, is limited, the value will always go up. They were selling Bagada. Bagada is finished. If you want to buy now, you're buying from somebody that bought before. You will have to go far to Ikorodu. Ikorodu will finish. There was one day that somebody said I should come and buy a land, only for me to discover that it was our village. I am from Ekpe. I'm serious. From Ekpe, our village. They are already selling it in millions. And you know, we had properties. What we used to call, we are going to Oko, Aloso Kowa, is what people are buying. The people who live in Abuja, they are buying in my village. One day, Ekpe will finish. They will get to Ibadan. Ibadan will finish. They will come to Ondo. So if you have an opportunity to buy. The only thing I will say about real estate is that if you are not buying to own for a long time, ensure that you are buying where people are building. There was one time that most of my mates were buying around Mowe Bafo that time. There was one inside Papalanto. They were buying there. I didn't buy. I faced Ikorodu to buy because I discovered that all my friends were buying the same place with the hope of selling to somebody. Properties appreciate only when people build. So if all of us buy property and we are not building anything, it will not appreciate. It is development that make it appreciate. When people are living there, they are renting. So I moved to Ikorodu where you have Elefon, Yalata, and all that. Those ones that will be building room by room. Value had gone up. Bakbalanto, some of them, their land is still there. Inside it. But over time, it will still develop over time because some of them were able to sell, some are building. But if you want to hold for a shorter period, go to a place where people are likely they are already building. Not all these schemes that everybody is buying with the hope of selling times 100. But guess what? I remember when my divisional head told me that filling station opposite Silverbed in VI, that they told him to come to buy when he was going to London and he had that money. It was just like him, buy. It was water that time. Said, me buy water. And he did not buy. Years later, after he had worked and retired in the UK, then he came to GTB to become GM. Then when he passed there, he saw a filling station there. And then he was already hundreds of millions selling. So if you have an opportunity, I will say buy. For as long as you have, buy, because it is finite. It will finish. Our children, some of our children that they want to live in Ikoyi, you know, Ikoyi, there is no whatever. We are only buying from the people that have had it a long time. Some of us, by God's grace, our children will stay in Ikoyi. Their own children too will still have property there. It's like New York, it's like London. Property is finished, but people are still buying today. You will end up buying from people that own it from their great, because it's finite.
Exactly.
Thank you.
Yeah, some people were raising their hands the other time. Favor, I think I saw Favor's hand. I saw Gabriel Oshoma's hand. If you're still here, do you want to still ask your question?
Sorry, I just saw something that somebody posted. I don't know who that person. Paul SJ.
Okay.
The last time you gave Access shares as an example to invest in, it was under 10. Now it's down. It's about 28. Thanks for the tips. I just hope that, bro, Paul, you invested because that's like almost 180%. You know.
Don't mind him. He works there.
Oh, he works there. Wow, fantastic.
So he's only advertising for Access. So you will pay.
Okay.
You pay for advert. All right. So please, if you want to ask any question, we'll be rounding off in a very short while. Let me see your hand, and then I can call you. Yes, I know Paul really bought. Yes, Peter, I'll release your mic now so that you can talk. Okay. All right. So Peter, you can talk now. And then Gabriel will talk after you.
Okay, thank you very much. Good evening, Mr. Sam. It's always insightful listening to you. The last time was when you came to one of our programs at BCI, and you gave some really, 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 really inspiring talk, and you mentioned MTN and the rest. Some of us picked it up, and it's been wonderful, right? So hearing you again, I have just two questions, right? One, crypto investments. I just want to know what's, you didn't mention anything about it, right? And I just wanted to know your candid um, opinion about investing in crypto, and what would you advise anybody who is trying to delve into that area and who is already in that area, and some tips that you can give in that respect. And secondly, also, the proliferation of online investment platforms here and there, and which you mentioned that you could buy share from anywhere in the world and whatnot. So I want, being somebody who has been doing this for a very long time, right from the time it was just, you have to get paper certificates, you have to go to the stock exchange and go through brokers. What's also your take in using some of these investment platforms like RiseVerse, Trove, Bamboo, and the rest? And what's the risk for somebody who's putting his money or her money in such places that they don't have let's say authoritative, like maybe physical locations, or so to say. So being somebody in these areas, what would you tell people like us who have our money in these platforms? Thank you so much, sir.
All right. Thank you very much. Okay. First and foremost, full disclosure, I have Ethereum, I have Bitcoin, I have XRP, right? So I'm just being plain as much as possible. So for me, when I invested in crypto, I did it, a lot of people were doing it. So what I did was to call my friend. He was in the UK then. Now he's back in Nigeria, in Abuja. And he was investing. He made so much money. So I invited him. He came to Nigeria. When he was in Nigeria, he had to teach me based on my little knowledge then and my risk appetite. I had some monies that I was willing to lose. And I invested. It was about then it was about 3,000 or 2,000, for Bitcoin then. And when I invested, he moved all the way and went to almost 18,000. What I did was to sell my principal, and I was out for good since that time. But till today, interestingly, the what is supposed to be like the profit on it, they are still there. And every now and then I check my portfolio. I had not invested again since that time, but I've been looking at it again and again. And I just discovered, apart from the fact that it's grown, it's now about 40 something thousand, right? But it's grown. Then another thing is Naira, as at that time, when I did, was maybe about 140 something or 150 something. So I have benefited. If I sell today and convert to Naira, it's grown in dollar value because it's grown and all of that. And I think it's about the same principle. And I'm seriously considering it because it also has finite number. So I have discovered that any investment that the number is closed, that I cannot increase beyond that one. I am still researching. They said the number of Bitcoin that you have is already there. They cannot grow beyond that one. If it's the truth and it continues like that, then over time it would, it would grow. But for me, I have not, because anything that I don't have clarity about, I am not very quick to put my fund into it. If you know about it, I'll be happy to learn from you. Maybe when we understand it now, there were risks that I could not take years back. I think I can take them now. So if you understand, please start me up. Let's have lunch or dinner or have coffee. Teach me, then we both invest and, some level of risk. I also have bamboo accounts because I trade foreign stocks as well. Well, I don't trade, I invest. I invest because just like I said, trading is you are changing. This way, taking position, about some of these stocks. If all of us we are using Google, so I look at the things that I use a lot, right? Apple, I use iPhone now. For a long time, people were forcing me to use iPhone. I said I would not use. My laptop is an Apple product. So I said, if I'm using it, and all the people around me now, they are using it, then that means they are making sales. So I invested. Then Google, I go there, I use it a lot. I also invested in Google, and I've been there for a long time. PayPal as well, because I was doing some investment. So for me, it's if I'm using it, you're using it, and everybody's using it, they will be making money. So it's just the same principle for investing back in Nigeria. Companies that I don't buy their products, or I don't see their office, they don't do it, I don't know anything about them. If they like, they should do 1,000,000% growth. I will not invest. But you have an office, I enter your bank, I am seeing crowd, people sitting on the floor to deposit money. Depositing money is one business. It's not low, no. To deposit money, people are on the floor. Whatever it is that you are doing, if you continue to do it, people that invest in it will continue to make money. So for me, some of these platforms, then it's they also have back end, some level of regulatory backing. So you might need to check their regulatory backing to be sure that something is okay with them. What type of license do they have? Do they have an affiliate or some level of registration that they rest on in Nigeria? Outside Nigeria, what type of license do they have? If they are licensed abroad, their own regulation are very, very, strict, more stricter than our own, then I'll be comfortable. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much for that. All right, I have Gabriel Oshoma here. Please, you can go ahead, sir.
Yeah, good evening, Mr. Sam. I really appreciate you. I came in about 15 minutes or so late. So what I started with, what I met on ground is what I'll just I'll flow with. You were talking about earning, savings, and investment, and you tilted so much in the area of finance, was in shares and a lot of stuff like that. Well, someone has brought up the issue of real estate. I heard you talk about agro business and things like that. And I heard you say about people should be comfortable with their areas of, should I use the word calling now anyway, where they are more comfort, where they have their strength. When it comes to savings, someone like me, I'm very fluid and I'm very emotional too. So in terms of giving here and there, what I do most time when I earn, I do consultancy services and blah blah. I convert my savings into items. Let's say buy a tractor and it's equipment, and they are not 1M, but they are expensive. Buy seeds that I can always resell. I invest in some of those things because I don't know if I have it now, see somebody as someone is sick, I don't think about it. It's just natural, pay school fees and things like that. And it has been working for me. I need to say that. As much as I'm not that person who is looking at having 100 million in account, it's good at the end of the year. I look at how have I fared? What's the inflow? What's the outflow? That's not my yardstick. It's the value I have been able to, through God, I'm able to impress in the lives of people. My logo on WhatsApp is improving lives, enhancing livelihoods. That's the vision of our company. And so I don't know how my investment is, as much as I'm doing, I belong to one cooperative, a few friends of mine saying do something on 10%. When I on my own, I give people 20% on investment, on our own platform. So I just see it as, okay, let me just join them. If by what I'm doing, is it okay? Because I don't really see it as, I love shares. Yeah, my dad, my good cousin, but it's not just one thing that I will have said, okay, let me just get shares. And I know you're not telling people to come into it. But my own line, I'm fully to agree, 100% agree. It's just that I'm delving into real estate because I have some lands I want to develop personally. But is it okay? Because like now the land never have to invest. I want to do some terraces. I have 3 machines on site. I'm bringing them in from Lagos. That's Eleko, 2 Eleko, 1 is in Teddy. I'm bringing them into Abeokuta. I have only gotten how many pallets, about 1,000 or so pallets. And I've been to the trades in 26.
I think you have made your point, Mr. Shoma.
I don't know how should I better. Is it
All right.
okay?
Okay. I think first thing, right, is that you just mentioned it. Is working for you and you are comfortable with it. If it's working for you, then there is really nothing I can say. I can't say whether it's working. Just like I explained, if you were here earlier, financial freedom, what it means to you is extremely important. If financial freedom means that you should be giving people money and you have it, then that's the life to live. After all, everybody working, going work. What they are trying to achieve is that thing that you are already doing today. But one of the things I just want to say is that whatever assets that you turn your money into, why I was saying so much about shares, I also mentioned about mutual funds, investment in dollars, all sorts in terms of that one, is the fact that for me, and its strategy boils down to strategy, which we are talking about tonight. It must be liquid, something that can be converted easily to cash, and the value is almost known. The reason why I will ordinarily do maybe a share or something is that we all know the value. My brother was saying that he closed at 28. That's the value. There is no ambiguity about it. If I convert it to a bag, the value of anything is what a willing seller is willing to pay for it. So if that thing is worth 1,000 and you urgently need money this night, how quickly can you convert that thing back to 1,000? If somebody that is willing and you must convert it tonight is saying 100 naira, is 100 naira, my dear brother. And that's why you have to look at something that the value is easily known, is official. Another thing I hear you say that I quickly want to correct is that you also have investment with maybe some friends saying 10%. For me, I will never ever invest money with anyone that has no structure, no registration with a regulator, and promise me 10%. If you like, promise me 1,000 monthly. I will not invest with you. The risk is so high. It's called key man risk. If anything happens to that person, your money is gone. Nobody even knows about it. So why invest with that one? I would rather invest with an organization backed by law, and I sign an agreement recognized by law. So for me, it's also something it has to. I just hear you say it, and I don't know.
I think, sorry, bro, Samson. Thank you, Gabriel, for that. I'll take Olu Ademakinwa now. I think you skipped Peter's second question, which is similar to what you are just saying. He's talking about investment, online investment platforms springing up here and there, just like all those loan apps springing up. Are those things guided by law?
Okay, so I think the first way to look at it in Nigeria today, if you're doing anything investment, taking people's money, you must be registered by Securities and Exchange Commission. So when you take people's money, and most times by CBN, what you have to do is go on Securities and Exchange website, put their names, all the people that have licenses, registered by Securities and Exchange Commission.
Yeah.
You will see their names. If their name is not on it, please, if your risk will take it, you can do that. Run. If they are not recognized by CBN, run. Because especially if it's CBN regulated and they have NDIC, what it means is that your money cannot even gone. Your money cannot be misplaced, or you can't get to a point where they go into liquidation and you're looking for your money, because if it's backed by NDIC, then they are bound to pay you up to certain threshold. So if you don't have up to that threshold, you can invest with them, provided they are backed with NDIC. You will get your money back.
Okay.
But if it's all these platforms, just be sure they are registered.
Okay, thank you. I think people needed to get there because somebody else mentioned it. Now, this is just the last question that we'll take for tonight. Okay, so the first one I will ask you, Bro Samson, anyone that wants to consult you or, seek your advice, how do we get you? So you mentioned that, but I want Olu Adekunle to ask his question, so you say it along with that. All right.
Okay, good evening, Dan. Thank you for the insightful seminar, and all the info has been really helpful. So my question is, what do you advise somebody that is not based in Nigeria? Okay, and the fluctuation in exchange rate, it's already a risk. So for example, let's say like a few years back, let's say I transferred like 15,000 pounds for an investment, and like a month or so after that, the money already lost like 20% of its value, if not more. You understand? So what sort of investment do you advise people like me that can do in Nigeria? I know there is investment opportunity in the UK as well. But when you invest in the UK and you're investing and you are going to be paying like 40% like a capital gain tax or something, you have to weigh things up, and you want to not invest all your eggs within the country that charges that 40% capital gains tax. So yeah, what do you advise for people like me in that category? Which investment can mitigate the exchange rate risk?
All right, great. Okay, so
thank you, Mrs. Adekunle.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you. So first is that Nigeria will not be like this forever. There will come that time when we will all know, because it started, there was one time dollar moved all the way to 500 and something, then it settles at 360 something for like almost 2, 3, 4 years. When we get to that point, when it settles, I will encourage you at that point, you can consider moving from pound to naira. This is not that time to move from pound to naira. So in any investment that you're doing in Nigeria, it must be FX investment, and your options are you do an Euro bond. There are Euro bonds that return about 9.2%, that is 2049, 2029, FGN 2029 Euro bond. There is ETI 2024 of another 8.75. I could share with you list of Euro bonds and federal government bonds that are way above 8%. That's a big deal, because apart from the 40% you are going to pay in the UK, most of those investments are even at 1%, 0.7%, or 2%. So that way, in a very high interest environment, you can make a whole lot. You're not paying taxes on your capital gain other than the basic tax, especially when you invest in Euro bonds. Then you can now take the thing back. So for you, you have no headache about where dollar is or pound is, because you inflow FX, your FX is invested as FX, you earn FX on it, When you're going back as FX. So no risk. The only risk that you face is called country risk. The risk that Nigeria will fail. That's the only risk, that you will come one day and Nigeria will not be able to pay, on those obligations. And I don't see that. Is a risk, is a possibility, but it's not, the probability is low. It's not zero, but it's very, very low, right? So I would advise that you consider all those. There are also corporate bonds in dollars. There is Access Perpetual bond. I don't know whether we should be mentioning him so that we are not advertised. They're not paying through it all. If they want us to advertise, they should pay. So Bro Paul, tell your bank. But there is a perpetual perpetual bond that they do. That one is also about 8.5 or 9%, that runs anytime you want to be out, you can be out, and you can continue to earn coupon. They are paid like twice, every year, so it's something to consider, right? Yes.
All
So
right.
people that want to reach me, I think the number one rule is that you must be very, very open to not just listen, but to act. I so much desire the joy that I have is that you practicalize this thing, and when we meet, we are sharing success story. It's a good point to be, and that's what I desire. So, but for some people, it's very difficult to act. They just want to they jump from training to training. If you're that kind of person, I would appreciate that we still, maintain but if you really want to move close, I might just be a burden, calling you out of the blues. What are you doing now? How are you doing? What's the result? You might not like it, so let's respect ourselves. But if you don't mind, I also don't mind. Thank you.
Okay. You know me, I don't mind. So we need to start talking fast. All right. So Dr. Chris Udofia was asking, is interested in the bond you mentioned. So I would advise that anyone interested in, like he rightly said, not joke, but real investment, no matter how small you want to start, please, you can always reach out to Samson Adekunle. Write him on LinkedIn. It's also available on Instagram. So just DM him, and then it will get back to you. So that means you need to look out for your LinkedIn, Bro Samson. So thank you so much, my dear brother. Thank you for always enlightening us. I mean, directly or indirectly, we are coming to you, and we believe that we are going to really start making good money. All right. So thank you, everyone. I appreciate you. Bro Samson, thank you once again. It's been nice listening to you. I listen to you almost every month. So it's time to really act. PKO, thank you. That's the president of my alumni association, my own set. Thank you, everyone. Next week, by God's grace, we'll continue on strategies for people that want to launch their business, or you want to start a business, you don't know how to go by it this 2024. We started strategies that can help you last 2 weeks, no, last week. Yeah. So if you missed that, please, you can go on my YouTube channel, Kola _Olugbodi. Yes, that's on YouTube. Past Through It All videos also, you will find them on my YouTube channel. So next week, by God's grace, I'm going to continue on the discussion on strategies for success in business, whether you want to just start or you have your own business and you are thinking, okay, how do you scale? How do you thrive in 2024? So I'm going to really be talking more on that on next week's episode of Through It All. Like I told us, Through It All this year is going the way of principles. It's going the way of how do we get these things done. We have shared a lot of stories for like 3 years, 4 years now. So now we want to start going into principles. Somebody that started selling moi moi and now she's a guest of US president and all these. What principles got her there? So this year we're going to be talking more about principles than, hey, God, make me also get there. No, it's not like that. It's not by chance. Those things happen by principles. And so we're going to be checking Bible. We are going to be bringing people that can tell us how you got from here to here, telling us principles. All right. So next week, by God's grace, let's meet again. I appreciate every one of you. I know a lot of us were here. Some had left. Abigail Akinriola, Adeola, Adigun Taofik, Toyin Afolayan, Akinleye Adekujo, Ekong Anifiong, Bolanle Annie, Captain Ho. Okay, Captain Ho, nice to have you here. Dr. Chris Udofia, Emmanuel MEG, nice to have you here. Izone, Brofolu Dele Ijagbulu, nice to have you here. That's the CEO of Buy Simply. He has been my guest on Through It All. Funlola Oyedoyin, I think I know that's my. Nice to have you here too, Ma. Gabriel, Isimeme, Joshua. Okay, Reverends are nice to have you here. Kingsley, Lucky, Emmanuel, Toyosi, my sister-in-law, Sheun Ademakinwa, Olushola, Ashafa, Shola, Oshokoya, Oluwa Busola, Wumi, nice to have you here. Omoyemi Bello, Paul SJ. Remember to tell Access Bank they are owing me for advert. Pelumi Afolabi, Peter, Philemon, PKO. So nice to have you here. Precious, Temitayo, Olawale, and Thrive HR Consulting. Since I started mentioning one name, I have to finish all the names. God bless you all. Okay, Sarah Williams, so it's you. Nice to have all of you here. So please, let's meet again next week, 8 o'clock, the same time. Tell others, visit my YouTube channel to watch other videos and the ones you have missed. So this year is going to be a very, very glorious year for you. It's a year that God says is going to increase you. It's going to make much more deeper things to happen in your life. So we are doing all this in preparation for what we believe God is going to be doing in your life this year, and it's going to come to pass. So once again, good night, everyone. If you've not read Through It All, my book, visit tia.com.ng, and God will bless you. Bye, everyone. God bless you. Blessed night, blessed afternoon.